Welcome back to Local 4 News Over Coffee. We're at the Derrick's Family Farm in Clinton County, and we've been discussing the widespread damage and the effects it's had. We're going to talk about the financial implications right now, and we're going to start with Craig Tynes. He's the farm loan manager of the Farmers Home Administration. Craig, I'm sure your workload has been at an all-time high maybe. How do you help area farmers?
I help area farmers by giving them low-interest loans if they can't get conventional credit from lenders. I also help and assist banks with their customers if they can't get financing through the bank to maybe co-sign for them customers to keep them in business long term. So yeah, we have seen a 25% increase in loans in 2020.
And for the farmers that you've worked with and some of the damage that they're facing right now, how do you anticipate that affecting them financially?
Currently, a lot of the farmers don't know what the damage is until they get into their crops, and then you're going to have insurance adjusters out adjusting it. So we really probably won't know until possibly March, and then the total effect that it's going to have, you really won't know for a whole another year because of the pandemic on top of that and the low prices. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, the prices have come back lately, but are they going to be sustainable?
So a lot of anxiety, I'm sure, for farmers that are depending on things coming back. And we're going to talk about the global implications. And so we'll go over to you, John. Now, John Nelson of Nelson Forest Wealth Management. Where do you see markets from a global scale?
Yeah, what we're really seeing, Eric, communicating with clients is really both ends of the spectrum right now. We've got clients, I think, in 48 states, so we're constantly talking to people all over the country. And the effects have been very different depending upon where people are located. Certainly here with the storm, in the midst of the pandemic, there's a lot of challenges. Farming sector, agriculture overall, which has big implications to all of us that live here in the Midwest. Out from that, there's been many opportunities and companies that have done quite well. You think of Amazons of the world. 2U is an online schooling offering that you can imagine has exploded. People looking for another option rather than simply, Zoom in the classroom and kids schooling from home. So the disparity has been big. We think the volatility could certainly continue. The pandemic is likely not to go anywhere anytime soon. Election year at the end of this year. A lot of uncertainty right now, and especially from business owners that we're talking to. I've almost never seen a time with more uncertainty from the business owner standpoint.
Yeah, and tell me more about locally and then United States where you see the financial markets.
Sure. So an interesting statistic is you're looking at consumer spending this year. So going into the pandemic, February, March, we saw a big pullback. Consumers not spending money, their saving actually hit. Normally at the beginning of the year, we're running about 8% in consumer savings. It peaked in March at 33%. Coming out of that, when the economy gradually started reopening, we saw some of that accrued saving get injected into the market. Think of auto industry. They were looking at a terrible year to start the year, have recovered significantly. And then the housing and building overall has exploded. A lot of people not traveling or going anywhere, so they're spending money elsewhere. Those are the two most cyclical sectors within the market, are performing well after a really rough start to the year. So hopefully, we see things continue. The Federal Reserve has certainly stepped in to help in a large way. But overall, financial markets today, a heck of a recovery from where we were 4 or 5 months ago.
So, right, we've dealt with some bad news, but some good news to hang our hats on, too. Now, Pat, we'll go back over to you. Just your farm, it's your business also, and with less people coming in and out because of the pandemic and because of the storm now, some of the damage there, how has it affected you financially, or how do you anticipate it?
Well, we started the season in mid-July with the Sunflower Festival. It was greatly reduced based on expectations coming into the year. We developed a drive-through, which was received very well by the consumers, but you can only manage so much in a drive-through. We are heavily dependent on the consumers coming out, and if you only have a limited offer, there's only going to be a limited amount of people. So it's reduced greatly.
So certainly trying to navigate it and a lot of unanswered questions, but a great opportunity for people to come support local businesses and enjoy it this fall. And we're going to continue our conversation. Now, we've talked about the pandemic and the storms. We're also going to talk about how the recent drought has really put a hurt on local farms.